All right, welcome back to the deep dive. So we've got this really interesting stack of sources you sent over, all kind of zeroing in on Google and content originality, especially thinking ahead to like 2025.
Yeah, it's a hot topic. People often just call it plagiarism, but these sources, looking at Google's updates and comments, show it's a lot more nuanced.
Okay, so that's our mission then, to kind of cut through that noise and figure out what Google actually looks for in original content based just on this material and why it matters for, getting seen online.
Exactly. We're diving into what these observations tell us Google values and how that impacts visibility for you, whether you're creating stuff or just trying to find good info.
Cool. Let's unpack that plagiarism thing right away, because the sources seem pretty clear. Google isn't using some basic plagiarism checker, right? Like they're not just scanning for X% unique text.
That's a huge point they make, yeah. You're spot on. It's not about finding matching sentences like in school. Google talks about duplicate content, which is different. It's really focused on the user.
The user experience.
Yeah, and the intent. Is this piece of content genuinely helpful, or is it just rehashing something that's already out there without adding anything? That's the core question.
So it's less about academic roles and more about, is this actually useful for the searcher? If there's duplicate stuff that doesn't help, that's the issue.
Precisely. Seeing 10 versions of the exact same thing isn't helpful, right? It just clutters the results. Google wants to surface the best answer, and these sources say quality assessment is way broader than just uniqueness.
Okay, like what else are they looking at? Is this where things like EAT, expertise, authoritativeness, trustworthiness come in?
Yeah, definitely. That's a big part of it. Relevance, usefulness, EAT, it all ties together. The sources kind of link this to originality because, showing real expertise or experience, that builds trust. It's harder for just copied stuff to do that.
Makes sense.
But, no single thing guarantees ranking. It's the whole picture.
Okay, this is where it gets really interesting. Thinking about 2025, the AI angle. Sources say the filters are getting tougher on AI-generated content. How are they even spotting that?
Right, that's a major focus now. The updates seem to be looking for signals of thoughtfulness or genuine effort.
Thoughtfulness. How does an algorithm measure that?
Yeah, good question. The sources don't give away the secret sauce, obviously, but they suggest it's about things like, does it offer deep insight? Is there unique data, a unique perspective? Does it avoid those robotic, repetitive patterns AI sometimes falls into?
Okay. So it's not just if it's AI, but how it reads. Does it feel like a human actually put some thought into it?
Exactly. Content that feels generic or just like a quick AI summary, even if it's tweaked a bit or cite sources, is getting flagged as lower quality. It seems AI can also accidentally create stuff that looks very similar to existing content because of its training data.
So it might not even be intentional duplication, but it still causes problems.
Potentially, yeah. It contributes to that feeling of low effort, low value. And that can lead to ranking declines.
Okay, so this really changes what originality means for Google then. It's
Yeah.
not just about having different words.
Not at all. According to these sources, originality for Google in 2025 is about adding unique value, a fresh perspective, actual insights, analysis, data, but something you can't just get anywhere else. It's about solving the user's need better.
So summarizing Wikipedia, not valuable. Synthesizing 5 articles and adding your own expert take, that is valuable.
You got it. That's the key distinction. Unique value, not just unique text.
So for creators listening, what are the best practices coming out of these sources? How do you actually do that?
Well, the big one is prioritize that unique value. Focus on things like original research if you can. Share personal experiences, provide expert analysis, maybe creative solutions.
What about using AI tools?
The suggestion is to blend it. Use AI, sure, for maybe brainstorming, outlining first drafts, but the human needs to bring the nuance, the perspective, the fact-checking, that thoughtfulness factor. And interestingly, the sources mention tools like Originality.ai or Winston AI specifically to kind of check your work before publishing.
Using AI to check AI-assisted content. Interesting.
Yeah, verifying that final output still feels original and human-driven.
And you mentioned something interesting earlier about visibility not just being about hitting the top organic spot.
Oh, right. That's a fascinating detail. Even pages that aren't, say, #1, but have really high-quality, valuable content can get visibility through things like Google's AI overviews.
So good content can find an audience, even if it's not right at the very top of the blue links.
It suggests there are multiple pathways now, yeah. Quality seems to be getting recognized in different ways.
Okay, so let's try and wrap this up. The main takeaway from all this material seems to be Stop worrying about simple plagiarism checks or magic percentages. Google, especially looking towards 2025, wants genuinely helpful content. Stuff that shows real effort, brings unique value, and actually helps the user.
Exactly. It's about the substance, the unique perspective you add. Understanding that shift is, well, it's crucial for anyone creating content or just trying to find reliable information online these days.
Which definitely leaves us with something to think about. Based on these sources, if Google's getting better and better at spotting genuine effort and thoughtfulness, what does that really mean for how human creativity needs to step up and work alongside AI in the future? How do we stay genuinely valuable? What stands out to you?